Welcome everybody to the beautiful Madeira island, and here is a 2-minute short introduction to all the amazing places you will discover in this 1-week perfect Madeira itinerary. So let's start! It's insane to me how they're planting things here. You will see just a cliff. We have to literally walk above water. If you do one wrong step, you fall. So there's nothing protecting you. Last minute change, we are turning back. There is a goat! We are not in the place where we parked, and we are in a random place. Hello everyone and welcome to my Madeira travel series. In this video I want to talk about some basics about traveling to Madeira, like how much we spent on our rental car and accommodation and where we got them from. And anyways, we have just arrived and the airport is super nice, but our landing was pretty traumatizing. I will talk about it a bit later. And you can see now on the screen we rented a car from Rent a Car Madeira. This is what the website is called, and you can see the crazy consumption we had on our car on those hills. So the hills in Madeira are no joke. But anyways, everything went well with this company, so I fully recommend them, and it was also pretty affordable, as you can see. Hello everyone, we are now in Madeira, and I'm sorry if I look a little bit like a mess, but it has been a very long day. Our flight had a 1-hour delay and we did not make it at the first attempt at landing at Madeira. I knew that it's the hardest airport in Europe where to land, and it is pretty scary, but I got very scared of this experience. But the second landing was okay. It was very smooth, and I appreciate a lot the pilots that land here at Madeira, because it looks very scary from the videos. So I was able to do a screen recording of our landing, and I thank Madeira Air Spotting for that. I give credits to them. You can see that our plane was going left right with the wings a lot, and from the inside of the plane that was very scary. I was expecting that a little bit, because if you are looking on their channel and you will find a 3 million views video with the craziest landing at Madeira, that was actually in the same day when we landed, and it was so scary seeing that just before our departure from the others. But anyways, our second landing was super good, and I am grateful to our pilots. Anyways, it's already almost 6 p.m. I think, and we don't have much time to visit a lot. We'll probably just go to a viewpoint, supermarket to put some gas, and that's all for today. We will explore the hikes and the island in the next days, because we have 7 nights here, so 6 full days to explore this beautiful island. So just make sure to subscribe to make sure you see all my videos from my travels, and to support me in the only way you can. So let's go. Our only stop of the day was Miradouro da Portela, and you can see how crazy the wind was by watching that bird just staying in one place. And to be honest, the wind in Madeira was really something else. We are now at the Da Portela viewpoint, and you can see it behind me. It is so beautiful. There's literally no one here, like we are the only ones here. I think it's not that popular, maybe, but it's almost sunset time, so maybe there aren't a lot of tourists around here. It is incredibly beautiful right now. We are not seeing the sunset. I think it's in more than half an hour. I think, maybe I'm wrong. It's really easy to access it. Literally, the parking is behind me. So I really recommend you to stop here if you don't have to drive a lot to arrive here, because it is really, really beautiful. To be honest, most of the viewpoints in Madeira were just breathtaking. This one was really close to our accommodation, and this is why we chose it. And then we went to this restaurant called Recanto dos Clásicos, and we were the only ones here. It was a very local restaurant that we randomly found because we did not want to drive for too long. So now that we're at the accommodation again, I want to show you a little bit around. We paid, I think, around 80 euros per night, but I'm not 100% sure. I will leave it on the screen. Anyways, here, okay, I will reverse the camera. So here we have the stairs that go from the kitchen to our bedroom, as you can see here. The funny thing is that this right here, it is not a room. This is a mirror, because as you can see there are two beds and it's these two beds, so this is very weird. It really looks like another room. And here is our second bathroom. The first one is downstairs. So I really like this accommodation. It is very pretty. Good morning everyone, this is officially our first day of exploring Madeira. We also had yesterday, but we only saw one viewpoint, so that doesn't count. Anyways, we are going to Ponta de São Lourenço or something like this. Sorry if I'm spelling it wrong. And I think it's a 2 or 3 hour hike, and from the reviews I've read that you have to go there early because the parking is not that big and it is very crowded. Unfortunately, we woke up pretty late, so it is almost 10 a.m. right now. I'm not sure if we will find parking places. I will let you know. If not, we will have to park farther away and walk, but that is not really a huge problem because we are here to walk, to hike, so that is expected. Anyways, I will let you know, and if you come here, make sure you wake up early so you don't have to worry about this. While I'm filming the road to the parking, I want to talk to you about the hike and about the road, details like this. Just to get started, I want to tell you about the tunnels here in Madeira, and it's insane because they have so many tunnels. If you haven't been to Madeira and you are thinking now, oh yeah, maybe they have like 10 or 20, they have many more, and once you are there, you will be so impressed. I am coming from a country that has like 3 tunnels, so I'm really impressed. Anyways, you can see that the parking was really crowded. A lot of cars were still coming, and we were super lucky to find a good parking spot. Anyways, feel free to pause this video to read more about this hike and also to see a bit how long it is, how difficult it is. In my opinion, it is pretty difficult, but it is not really that incredibly long. So if you take a full day for it and you take a lot of breaks, it should be fine for anybody. I saw a lot of people with kids. I saw a lot of people that were older and they didn't have big problems. So in my opinion, you should really do this trail because it may be one of the most beautiful or even the most beautiful one in Madeira. Anyways, you can see that at the beginning we did not have a specific beautiful view or anything like that, and you can see that there were so many people on the trail. Anyways, at the beginning it was pretty easy. You could see that it's a little bit of climbing but not too much, so it's like a warm-up, a great warm-up for what is to come. And at some point we saw this beautiful view of the ocean and of the rocks, and that really surprised us. But after that, a great thing is that we can see the trail in advance, and that prepares us a little bit, let's say. Anyways, there are some info boards like this. You can pause if you want to read about it. It's very interesting, and I really loved that because there were a few of them on this hike, and it's really interesting to learn more about this trail. But anyways, you can see that the views were getting so insane and the terrain was pretty good. There were some small rocks here and there, but I still recommend you to get some hiking shoes, and also don't forget sunscreen, because even though it was cloudy when we went, you could get sunburned so easily here because you have no trees, no cover for like 4, 5, 6 hours, and that's a lot of time. But anyways, look at these crazy views. I will just let you enjoy it a little bit and I will talk later. So we have just been at the first viewpoint and right now we are going to continue. Next to the first viewpoint there is a path you can go down to and go inside the water if it's warm enough, and you will see that on the map. So this is the path that you have to walk on to go to the beach over there. This is not visible anymore, but from that side it was very well visible, and right now we are going to continue this way. The path is very well maintained, as you can see. It's very easy to walk on it. Also, if you enjoyed this video and if you find it useful, please don't forget to like it and also subscribe, because I have so many more videos coming from Madeira. Here the trail doesn't have stairs anymore. As you can see, it's a little bit harder to walk, but it's not very bad. It will slow you down, but it's easily doable. So as I've already told you, I really consider this hike to be the most beautiful in Madeira, and this is not an easy choice because Madeira has so many insanely beautiful hikes. But you can see right now on the screen, I was filming just casual viewpoints which were not even the main viewpoints on the trail, and they were so beautiful. But anyways, what I really love the most about this hike is that you could literally stop almost anywhere to see these crazy formations that were made on the rocks and the ocean, and that was really unique. And I don't want to compare it to Hawaii or to focus on Hawaii because Madeira is unique in its own way, but really this place is something else. I mean, this hike. And anyways, at some point we were just sitting and enjoying the views, relaxing after being a little bit tired, and we saw these birds and we started to make up stories about them. Soon you will see that another one will join. Look at this one. It was so lonely sitting in the wind, and then you can see that another one arrived, and it's you can name this Mike and the other one Monica, and it's just enjoying this beautiful hike in Madeira. And look how cute they were. But anyways, let's stop talking about the birds, and for now the last things that I want to tell you about the hike is that the terrain changes a lot. So at the beginning it was super easy, and then you start to go on a lot of stairs. You go up and then you go down and then up and down, and it's pretty challenging. So make sure you get enough water and enough rest because it's not that simple. We have arrived at the viewpoint here, and this is literally one of the most beautiful views I've ever seen. I think look around me, it is so incredibly beautiful. I really recommend you to come here. It's insanely beautiful. From my videos here, other than the crazy views, you may notice one more thing, which is the clouds and the weather. And yes, indeed, we did not have a lot of sun during that day, but it was still very beautiful. I don't know how it's like when it rains. It's probably not as enjoyable and beautiful, but you can see that there was no sun and the colors were not really that alive, let's say, and it was still worth doing. So if you are not having great weather when you come to Madeira, don't worry, you will still be rewarded with amazing landscapes and nature. Anyways, at this point I was filming myself going down the stairs, and you can see that again I recommend you to get hiking shoes because it is way better and way safer to go here with hiking shoes, especially if you want to do it until the end of the trail, because it gets even harder. It gets very slippery at some point, so you will need hiking shoes. Anyways, at this point of the trail, I think it's a little bit over half of the hike, the landscapes gets really crazy. I mean, I think this is the point where you will get rewarded with the best views here and some of the most incredible views from the world, I would say. And anyways, I will talk later when we arrive there about the end of the trail, which is more challenging and more interesting. Feel free again to pause this video if you want to read more about this area. At this point of the trail, again, we were not seeing a viewpoint anymore, but it was pretty easy. So when you reach this part, it's basically not that rewarding, but it is a great resting area, let's say, because you will just walk on an almost flat surface. You get to catch your breath before the final and the most difficult climb of today. So basically we have arrived. I think there is the last viewpoint that is known, and there is a hill that everyone is climbing that is not on the map, so I think it is extra, which we'll probably do because it looks cool. And here is the viewpoint we are seeing from here, which is very, very beautiful. To be completely honest with you, this part of the hike was both funny and painful because you can see how huge the steps were that we had to take, and also this part was the easier one because as we climb, the stairs begin to disappear and you just have to climb on this type of rock and small rocks and just hope you will not slip. And really all I had in mind then was how difficult it will be to go down the same way, but don't worry if you have good shoes. As I've already told you, it was pretty easy. I mean, we went really slow, but thanks to our shoes it was very easy and safe. And also you can see the beautiful view we were seeing of really the end of this side of the island. We were seeing up to the furthest possible point, but we could not go that far because I think it was not even united to the main island, or I am not sure about that. Anyways, we were seeing lots of geckos or small lizards around here, and we also saw them a lot in the others, and they were really cute. At the beginning when we went to Bali and we saw them, I was super scared of them, but now I am not anymore. Anyways, seeing these views, if you consider them to be worth it, then make sure you do this last part of the hike. In my personal opinion, it is really worth it, even if it is pretty hard and challenging to climb all of this. It is really worth it to see this beauty at the end. And I did not film the way back because I have so many videos from the hike up here, and then when we left I filmed a little bit in the car how many cars were parked on the side of the road, and you can see just how far away from the hike they were. We are now at Viewpoint Ponta de Rosto. Sorry for my hair. It's been a long day. Anyways, this one is a very famous one. You can easily park here really close, and you have to walk a little bit, as you can see around here. And this is the view I am seeing already, so this is so pretty. I will show you even more as we climb a little bit, but we are really tired. After today's hike we will most probably not do any other hikes today. We'll leave them for the rest of the days because we have 6 full days here in Madeira. I did not do an introduction to this video, so hello everyone. This video is made in the same day as my previous one, but I wanted to make 2 different videos because it would have been way too long. And anyways, that viewpoint was really very close to the parking to that hike, so you can easily do both of them in the same day. Our next stop will be the Machico, or I don't know what it's spelled. It's a pretty big city, as you can see, and the view was so beautiful already from the car. We did not want to visit it specifically, but it was really close to the hike and also to the viewpoint, so it was really worth a stop. We were pretty hungry too, and we ate at such a nice brunch spot. We got some really tasty sandwiches in a place that I will talk about a little bit later. So if you're around and you want to eat somewhere, you can try that place because it's a pretty local one. But anyways, let's explore this beautiful city. We have now stopped in a city that is very pretty, as you can see around me, and we are walking next to a river, and I can't tell you the name of the city because I can't figure out the name from Google Maps. I have too many things saved and the name doesn't appear, but it's really close the hike we have done. I can show you on the map or on the screen somehow. I will manage to do it, and also I will tell you where we are eating right now. So if you want to see this beautiful small city or village or town, I don't know what it's considered here, I will let you know. So here is the place that I was talking to you about. It is called Village Cafe, and you could see also the prices. They were pretty affordable because it's a local place. I found it on Google Maps based on reviews, just like I usually do, and it was really nice. So we are now in the parking lot of Cristo. As you can see, there are a lot of parking spaces. The wind is pretty strong here. Earlier today there was no wind, but apparently here it's pretty windy. Anyways, there's a lot of space for parking, but probably in the morning it's more occupied, so make sure you get here very early or late in the afternoon. everyone. So here I was basically saying that we are now getting close to the viewpoint. I removed the sound because the wind that you can see on the screen was really so insane. You can see that my hair was flying everywhere, so I did not want to disturb you with the wind sound. Anyways, you can see the beautiful view we were seeing of the road and also the ocean. We were seeing also some boats, and you can see me again. I mean, I did not understand anything with that wind. My hair was just going everywhere. So if you're a girl with long hair, get a hat or maybe get your hair up so it does not fly everywhere like mine did. But anyways, you can see that we arrived finally at the statue, and it was super beautiful. It reminds me of the pictures from Rio. I know it does not compare. I've never been to Brazil, so I guess it's just the closest thing that I've ever been to Brazil. So the statue is right here behind me. I went down some stairs, but you can still go even farther down. It's not a lot, but we are pretty tired right now because of the hike we did earlier today. And anyways, from here you can also see this beautiful view. Maybe from down there you will see an even better view. I will also check now the other side. Maybe there is a nice view over there. Maybe I can see it. Oh, we can see the city from here. Sorry for the wind around there. We are getting a very pretty view, some cruise ships over there. I apologize for all the wind sounds. I will get a better microphone so that this does not happen in my future videos. Anyways, look at this beautiful view. You could stay here for a long time, and there are a lot of stairs, as I've already told you. So if you have enough time, it's really worth stopping even for half an hour or 1 hour. Anyways, if you're enjoying this video so far, please don't forget to like it and also subscribe. I would really appreciate it. We are now at the next viewpoint called Miradouro da Pináculo, and this one is really similar to the other one, but they are not in the same place, so you have to drive a little bit to arrive here, and it's also worth it if you want to see as many places as possible. We have arrived now at a new viewpoint which is called Pico dos Barcelos or Barcelos. Here is something written about it. I will show you in a minute. The parking lot is not really big, but because it is pretty late in the afternoon, it is not crowded right now. There are 6 cars here, and I don't see anyone around here. So right here in this place we are alone. Probably the other people are in a restaurant or maybe in another part of the viewpoint. Anyways, let's explore the area because it seems like this place is pretty big. Like it's not just a very small viewpoint and that's it. So let's walk around. Feel free to pause this video right now if you want to read more about this viewpoint. There is a lot of interesting information here. I really love that in Madeira and in Azores, in most of the touristic places, you have info boards like that. It's really nice and it's a great way to learn more about what you're visiting. You can see now a little bit of the views we were seeing from here. So we were really clearly seeing a beautiful view of the city, and I think this is the clearest view we saw of the city today. All the others were from farther away. We really did not see a lot of different views, but it's still worth coming here because it's really well maintained and it's really beautiful to just walk and relax here. So after visiting some viewpoints, we are now at Cabo Girão Skywalk, which is a nice platform, I think, made of glass where we can walk and see under our feet the view at more than 500 meters altitude. So that seems pretty cool. The entrance, from what I've read in the reviews, is €2 per person, and the parking lot is not really big. You can see there are some cars here and some cars here, but that's it. So make sure you either get very early in the morning or later in the afternoon to make sure you get some parking spots. I see there are some parkings over there too and also over there, so maybe it's not that big of a problem. Right now it's 6 p.m. so it's pretty empty. We have arrived now and I will let you read a little bit about it. You can pause the video to read. So you can read here that you can also do paragliding and base jumping. So if you are into things like that, you can look into it, but I can't really tell you about the prices. Anyways, the entrance here was €2 per person 1 year ago, so in 2024. I'm not sure if it changed, but it probably hasn't gotten much more expensive. positive if it did. And you can see that it's really contactless and you don't have to talk to anybody. It's really easy. You pay with your card and you get the tickets. So that was really fast. And after we got the tickets, we went directly on the platform, and that was really crazy because it's just like in that description. So it was super scary to look down under your feet and see just more than 500 meters of cliffs and of nothing. But I was not really scared because I'm not afraid of heights. But if you are, I would not really 100% recommend you this place because it can get pretty scary. As you can see on the video, it really is worse in real life. So you can see now that I'm pushing the phone over the edge and we're really like at the top of the world. So if you're scared of heights, that could be a lot for you to deal with. But anyways, from this video you can see that it was pretty cool to just walk on glass, and it's like a feeling of flying and of being at the top of the world. Anyways, the parking was free and there was plenty of parking spaces. I forgot to mention that. And anyways, you can see that today is not a great day in terms of weather. I also talked about this in my last video of the hiking, but still it was great for hiking, great for exploring the viewpoints. You can see that the ocean and the view is still very beautiful. So as I've already told you in the previous video, if you are coming to Madeira and you have very bad weather, don't worry, because as long as it's not raining as it does now on the screen, you can still have a lot of beautiful views. Anyways, right before leaving Cabo Girão, it started raining so hard, so we left quickly, and then we went to a very good Italian restaurant called Al Forno Madeira. I fully recommend it. We really loved the food, and then we went back to our accommodation, and look at that, the city lights looked really like stars, and I really loved this so much. It's one of my favorite memories in Madeira. And now what you're seeing on the screen is really under the airport runway. If you are believing me, like, look at that, it's really crazy. And in a few seconds you will see also the top of the runway, and it looks so surreal because this part of the runway, it did not exist. It was extended to make the landing safer because the runway was really short before, but it is super safe to land here. The pilots are very well trained to arrive here at this airport. And after seeing the runway, we just drove home. And the roads here, if you are not in a very big city, they are pretty challenging. You can see that we had quite a lot to drive on this very bad and narrow road, and it's not for everybody, to be honest. It's a bit challenging. And look at that cat, that is so cute. Good morning everyone, it's our second day in Madeira and we are doing now Levada do Moinho, which is not one of the most popular trails on the island, but it's definitely worth it from what I've read. And the parking is hard. I mean, there are not a lot of parking spots. The street here is very narrow and you will have to turn around a couple of times in order to find a good parking spot. I mean, not a good parking spot, but a parking spot in general because you can't find one. We turned around 2 or 3 times and we parked farther away, and it's not a problem for us. It's okay to walk for a bit, but be aware of that and try to get here as early as possible. Also, one reason for which we are doing this trail today is that it was raining very heavily where we are staying, and we're staying pretty close to the airport, so on all that area of the island it was raining very hard. And I've decided to just choose this trail because it didn't have a lot of reviews about rain or being hard during rain, so I figured it would be okay to hike this when it's raining, I think. But right now it is not raining anymore here, so we are lucky. As you can see, we barely started the trail and we are already rewarded with such a beautiful view that I'm filming right now. We are going this way. There aren't many signs about this, but this trail seems very well maintained. We're walking on this way, and as you can see, it is a bit scary because we are so high up, but the trail seems very easy so far. And you have also this safety fence, let's say, but it's a long way down, so it's a bit scary if you're afraid of heights, honestly. While walking on the trail, we also saw some waterfalls here and there, but I think they are temporary because it has been raining a lot in Madeira in the past days. As you can see, it is really scary on the trail. Just so you know, these handrails, protections on the left side, on some parts of the trail, they are not really everywhere, so there are parts of the trail where you don't have them. It's insane to me how they are planting things here next to a cliff. Anyways, I think we've been walking for the past 10 minutes and the trail is still the same. Very easy, very flat, but very, very pretty. And still, I get the chills from how high the altitude is and how close we are to the cliff. But it is very beautiful, as you can see. If you take a closer look on the left side, you will see that there is a river there, and believe it or not, we will actually reach that river. So even though we are currently so far away from it, we will just descend. Anyways, a very important tip about this trail is that if you find it super scary and you would not turn back on the same way, make sure you turn back the exact moment you realize that, because there is no other way. So you have to either come back on this same way or go on another way more dangerous Levada, which I will talk about in the next video, and that will be terrifying. So we have been hiking for the past half an hour. We are at almost 2 kilometers of walking, and it is very easy so far, so this is doable for everybody, no matter what is your activity level. It is really easy, just flat all the time. Just be aware if you are afraid of heights, this can be a problem. It's very safe, but it can be triggering because you are looking on the left side and you will see just a cliff, like you are falling or you could be falling, so it is pretty scary. Right now we are passing through some bushes, some trees. It is very pleasant. Another tip for this Levada, or in general any other Levada, is that if it has been raining a lot on the past days, you should not really go, or at least you should check the situation, because in a lot of places the water that you see here on the video was overflowing on the trail, and that could be slippery and dangerous based on which Levada you are doing. So on the trail we went kind of below under a small waterfall, so it was very wet. We are lucky that we have this waterproof jackets, but if you don't have them, just run on the trail, because you will get wet pretty quickly if you don't, but it's not that bad. And also we are actually currently in a forest, so we are not exposed to the cliff anymore, which is good for people with fear of heights. We don't have that, but it was still pretty weird to walk over there. Even if we don't fear heights, it is still on a flat surface. It is still very pleasant, very easy. All good. Here we were acting a little bit childish because we were really surprised by how fast the water was moving, because we were climbing this hill, so the water was moving much faster than before. Anyways, you can see right now we were not next to a cliff anymore. We were basically in the forest. So if you were worried about that, you can see that it's not always that bad. We have to literally walk above water, as you can see. And it started raining now, but it is not raining that bad. So this is another reminder to take waterproof clothing with you, because you never know with the weather here. It may stop raining all of a sudden anywhere. Say hi to this tree in the middle of the trail, and we keep going. This is almost overflowing, and I am seeing something that scares me. Oh my, I have a phobia. And then the trail, which is so pretty, and the view. Anyways, right now I will just keep on showing you how the trail was. For example, right here you see that it is not really well maintained and it can be slippery, and now you can see me and Mike. But anyways, it was not really 100% good and safe everywhere, to be honest. For example, here it was a bit scary because we were again very close to the cliff and there were some parts without protection, and you can see there is a lot until down there. But anyways, if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like it and also to subscribe. I would really appreciate it a lot. And as you can see right now on the screen, we had to keep our balance on a very small piece of land, and it was really weird because there were many parts like that around here because of the rain. and it was interesting, let's say, but be careful because you could easily fall and get hurt if you step inside the running water. Anyways, I want to talk now about the differences between this trail and the next one, which will be the one where we returned, and this one is called do Moinho, so Levada do Moinho, and the other one is called Levada Nova. I will leave it on the screen, and you really need to be super careful if you choose to come here because Levada Nova is really super dangerous. I will show you in the next video. I separated them in two different videos because this one would have been way too long and I want to focus on each of them separately. So if you're curious about the next one, make sure you subscribe in order not to miss it. Anyways, in the video right now you can see a small waterfall, and this was our first break. We took our time to get some snacks and some water, and it was super beautiful around here. We had some small rocks on which we could pass. I will show you in one moment. You can see them over there. It can be a little bit confusing at first, but this is where you have to keep on going. You can also see the rope and the protection there. It is doable for anybody. Anyways, here we witness a funny and also sad, let's say, story in which a group of friends tried to cross this river, and one of them got his shoes in his hands and he dropped by mistake one shoe and it ended up in the river, and you can see that it was going away really fast. Then he started running after the shoe and I think he fell a little bit on the rocks, but he was okay and eventually he managed to get the shoe. Okay, so I have to tell you some things because I didn't speak for I think the past hour or half an hour, so I have to keep you updated. We reached a point where there was a huge river that you had to cross, and there were some people that were risking it, like they were jumping between big rocks, and we did not want to do that. Someone lost his shoe inside the river and then the river was taking it further away. Luckily and happily he got it back, but this was a bit too risky for us. We didn't want to take that risk, so we stopped there and turned back, and while turning back we saw some stairs and we climbed them. It was not that hard, not so many stairs, so it was worth it. And now we're going back on another trail. I don't know where it leads us, maybe still to the parking lot. From what I've read in the reviews, there are two trails here. The first one is the one that we started, and I think it's the one with the river crossing. Maybe if you cross the river there would be more to it, but I don't think it would have been much more because we already did 4 kilometers and something, so I don't know how long that is. And I think this is the other one with the stairs because I remember some people saying that you have to climb some stairs, so maybe we're on the second one that you just have to continue from the first one. So we are doing both of them now. We are returning on the second one. Hopefully it's a parking lot, or I don't know. I will keep you updated if we have to do it all over again or if we have to walk a lot on the street. I will let you know because I am also curious. I don't know where we are headed. This is the walking path that is Mike, and it seems very well maintained. We saw some people too. This is still bad for people that have that are afraid of heights because you can see here is the trail and here you go down, so be careful with that. And yep, it's still flat, still pretty easy. So we saw now that if you cross this river it would lead you to this waterfall. Wow, that seems a huge waterfall. That reminds me of the ones in Iceland. We are seeing it from very far away, as you can see, but that looks beautiful. So if you are able to cross this river, if it is smaller right now, it is very agitated, but if you manage to do it, then I think it is worth it. Like, it looks very nice. Okay, so last minute change, we are turning back because Mike noticed that we probably can go on this path very close to the waterfall, almost the same thing as if we did the river crossing. So let's see if that's the case. I hope it is because this path is really easy to walk on. It will probably not take us too long, so keep watching because I will let you know. And if it's possible, then it's not worth trying to cross the river if we can just climb some stairs and walk on this path without risks. So this is really scary, as you can see. Whew, I'm like less than one step away from this. So this is really scary if you are afraid of heights, like insanely scary. Anyways, if you're confused about this video, just know that this is a part 2 of the first video. This is Levada Nova. We started from Levada do Moinho, which is in my previous video. Anyways, we have arrived at this, I don't know what it's called in English, but you probably know it's not a natural waterfall, and I will talk about it now. I'm sorry for the loud sounds. I think you can still walk here, like I see some people going even further away, but like, I don't know, it is not marked, I don't know where it leads to, so we won't go, like, not knowing anything. Okay, so my final conclusions are that it was really easy to arrive there. We took, I think, 10-15 minutes, and we arrived at the same spot where you would have arrived if you cross the river. So don't cross the river, it is not worth it. You arrive at the same place as we did here. Literally, this path is the same type as the rest of the path, so it's really easy to reach it without crossing the river. The only thing is that it feels a little bit more unsafe. This is why I'm not looking at the camera, because here, like, if I told you at the beginning that if you're afraid of heights, don't come here, here it is even worse. It's next level. You have to walk on a very small path. There is literally not enough space for 2 people to pass, and if you do one wrong step in some points, for example even this one, you fall. So there is nothing protecting you, absolutely nothing, so be careful. Okay, so that is the first waterfall where we walked today, and oh my, I don't know where we are heading to. There is a tunnel over there. I'm confused. Okay, let's keep going. We have reached this amazing waterfall. Wow, look at this. It is so beautiful. So we have finally arrived at what I would say is the most beautiful place from these 2 hikes. So basically here we had the opportunity to walk behind 2 huge waterfalls, which is a pretty rare experience. Like, you won't find a lot of places around the world where you can do this. And anyways, I was mentioning in the previous video that I know a way of seeing these 2 waterfalls without risking your life. So basically you start with Levada do Moinho, you climb on those stairs that I was talking to you about, and then you arrive here and then you turn back on do Moinho. You don't go on Levada Nova. Anyways, you can see that we were going through a tunnel right now, and that was pretty cool. It reminded me of the Azores. If you don't want to go to the dangerous part, don't go inside the tunnels. So this gives me so much anxiety. I don't know if you realize on camera how dangerous this looks. Like, you can see, we walked over there, I'm here, and oh, this is next level. So as you can see right now in the video, there were some parts that had protection on the right side, but you can see that sometimes it is literally broken and you cannot really trust this. I personally did not, so I was being extra careful, because basically your attention here can cost your life. I can see the other path over there. You can see some people, and we are so high up. Wow. And it's still very scary. Very scary. Anyways, if you are enjoying this video, please don't forget to like it and also subscribe. I would really appreciate that, and I will keep on doing videos if I know that you appreciate them and you find them useful. Thank you. You can climb to the viewpoint here, but I think it's almost the same as here. Like, look at this. This is so beautiful, so much green. So I turned off the sound because the wind was too loud. But anyways, I was saying that we have 1 more kilometer until we arrive, and also that the river is visible. But it was super dangerous to walk with this wind, so check the weather. There is a goat! Oh my god! So this random encounter was super funny, also because of the way it looked at us. Like, it looked so confused. You can also see that it was descending so fast and easy, so it's way easier for the goat to do the hike than for me. Anyways, we have finally arrived to the city. I was so happy to finally arrive safely and alive, especially that we were super scared that we will fall because of the wind. So I think we have finally arrived. We are here, and it seems we are in the city, and we are not in the place where we parked, so we are further away. I think we will have to walk in the city because we are at a much higher altitude and we are in a random place. I don't know how somebody really starts the hike here between houses, but right now we're going to walk. We are going down to the parking lot. It was all good. We are safe. It was not really safe. Listen to me, if you have fear of heights, don't try this trail. It's very bad with the fear of heights. I don't have it at all, and I still had a weird feeling in my chest all the time, but it was good. It was very rewarding, very beautiful. I loved it a lot, and I will let you know how much we have in total. I think around 10 kilometers and not so much of climbing. We are right now going between houses to the road and to the parking lot. So at the end we had exactly 10 kilometers and we were so happy to finally see the road because that meant safety, and also we did not have to walk a lot to the car park, which was also nice. I think we walked for around 10 or 15 minutes maximum. Anyways, look at this super cute cat that we encountered on the road. It looked like it teleported. Good morning everyone from Madeira again. It is day 3 of exploring the island and the weather is really bad these days. Like, we are pretty unlucky because even though it is the end of March, it's raining every day. So the weather is bad. There are also some flight cancellations these days, so hopefully we will not be affected when we come back home. And we want to do the most famous hike on the island, but it's raining a lot. It's very cloudy, foggy, so we are trying now to go to the viewpoint because it's raining just a little bit, and we will see the situation there. If it's bad or if it's very foggy, we won't do it today. We will do it on Monday, which is in 3 days, which is our last day in Madeira. Maybe it will be fine. I don't like leaving things on the last day, but if that's the only day when it doesn't rain, then yep. So right now on the screen you can see that the weather got better. It was not raining anymore and we could see this super beautiful rainbow. We also saw it over the trees, which was super cool. And right now we were getting closer and closer to Pico Arieiro. I'm sorry if I'm spelling it wrong, but anyways, the views, as you can see exactly right now on the screen, were getting so beautiful over the mountains. And I will give you now a spoiler, which is that we did not do the hike today because we were not allowed to. And actually one of my next videos will be about this hike that we will actually do on Monday, and we did it at sunrise time and that was the best decision ever. Okay, so basically the weather is much better now. It has not been raining, but we turned back because there was a police car blocking the road because probably the weather conditions there or on the trail are not good, and there were some cars going back from the trail that were covered with snow and ice. I think they're the people that went for sunrise, and while they were doing the trail, their car got covered in ice and snow, which is insane because it seems so, like, not hot outside but not that cold for it to snow. And we got turned back, so we are doing another hike today and we will try again for Pico de Arieiro, or how it's pronounced. We'll try again in the next days. You can see right now on the screen that the rainbow is back and it is so strong, so you can imagine what a nice view we had while driving to our next hike. This actually reminds me of our trip to the Faroe Islands, and if you've been there you probably know that it's so full with rainbows literally everywhere. Anyways, we chose this time to do the Risco and the 25 Fontes hikes, and because it was raining, in my opinion we did the right decision because this hike is my favorite one to do when it rains in Madeira because the waterfalls are so much bigger. But as you can see right now on the screen, the trail could be full of water and you will get your shoes wet, so be careful with your decision here. So today we are doing the 25 Fontes hike, and it is already raining a little bit. The clouds are moving really fast. Like right now we are seeing the trees very nicely, but around 15 seconds ago it was all covered in fog, so it is changing really fast. We have to walk on this paved road, I think for 1.5 kilometers or something like that. From what I've read in the reviews, there is some kind of bus that drives here instead of you walking here, but I'm not really sure about that. I didn't see any bus. Maybe it is rare, like hourly or something. You can read more about it if you don't want to walk these extra kilometers. But anyways, it is a very ugly weather today, and in general these days we are unlucky with the weather in Madeira, but it is still very beautiful. You can see the clouds and the fog. It's literally so fast. Right now I was just filming how fast the clouds were moving, and they were so low it looked really like fog at this point. But anyways, we were going down that road that I was talking to you about, and from reading on the internet I see that there is actually a service bus offered by the municipality, and it costs €3 one way or €5 round trip if you want to avoid going down 2 kilometers and climbing up again 2 kilometers. But you can see that I am filming this road and it is super beautiful. We are seeing some small waterfalls or streams of water, and it was really pleasant. But be aware that on Sundays, from what I've read, it does not go, and I'm not sure if when we went it was Sunday or it was just a super bad weather, because we did not see any bus. So don't get your hopes too high that there is this service bus, because it could not be when you are visiting. Anyways, there were some other tourists doing this hike with us, but in general it was not crowded, probably also because of the rain. And you can see right now the beautiful birds that were there, and they were super friendly with everybody. We did not have any food for them. I'm not even sure if we are allowed to feed them, but anyways, they were super cute. And this is the place where the hike actually starts. And right now, if you're curious to read more about this, please feel free to pause this video. It's a lot of interesting information, and you can see if this hike is for you or not. There is also a restaurant or a cafe here, and the only toilet on the road, and this is actually where the bus takes you. Anyways, we have officially started the trail, and you can see that it starts by descending on some stairs that are very well maintained, and it was a little bit full of water, but nothing too bad. You will see later how bad it gets, because we basically had to go with our shoes in streams of water, but this is a spoiler. So all these things you will see in a few minutes along this video. If you find it interesting, make sure to keep watching. So we are still walking on the 25 Fontes trail, and I see that the Ponta de Risco, I think it's called like this, trail is on the same path as the one we're taking. And this path is taking us to a waterfall, so we are probably going to do both. Even if at some point they separate, we are still going to do both, because it's not such a long walk to also do the Risco trail. There is a toilet at the bottom of the paved road if you need one, but it costs 50 cents. It's not that much, so just a useful information for you. And also there's a cafe, a restaurant if you want to eat something, if you're hungry. But after that, I don't think there's anything else on the trail, so if you need anything, just get it there. We're going with Risco first on this path. A little bit less than 1 kilometer, I think it is worth it. And look at this. So beautiful. So I left the original audio for a few seconds so that you could listen how peaceful walking around here is, and you can see that there is literally nobody around us. If you're wondering if the Risco is worth it, in my opinion it is 100%, but you will soon see why, because the waterfall here is crazy. Anyways, this trail in my opinion is more beautiful with the rain, even if it's more inconvenient. Right now you can see that we stopped to have lunch and we had a few snacks and sandwiches, and say hey to Mike. So we have finally reached the Risco waterfall, and take a look at this. It is so insanely beautiful. And another waterfall over here, so you can see two waterfalls. I will show you the other camera because it is so insane. You probably thought that it was underwhelming from my selfie video, but you can see now that I'm showing with the other camera that actually this waterfall is so much bigger than it seemed earlier, and it is really so magnificent. I fully recommend you to also do the Risco trail if you're able to and if you have enough time, because it was really easy and it's not a lot of extra time. Honestly, I feel like I may like this waterfall more than the 25 Fontes one, which is really famous. But anyways, we were able to walk even closer to the waterfall. I have not filmed that, but if you look very carefully at the waterfall, you will see a tunnel there and you can get pretty close to it. I think that you are not able to get really to that tunnel, but you get to see the waterfall really close. Anyways, after leaving the Risco waterfall, I am filming right now the conditions of the trail to the other waterfall, the 25 Fontes, and for now it is still good. You can see the beautiful trees and everything looks like straight out of a movie. Anyways, if you're enjoying this video and if you find it useful, please don't forget to like it and also subscribe. I would really appreciate that. And I also have a lot more videos coming from Madeira and from so many more other places. Anyways, as we progress on our trail, we will see multiple other waterfalls. For example, you can see here there are two different viewpoints and the first one is more beautiful. So if you are here, make sure you stop to take some pictures, because from the top, if I remember correctly, it was not such an amazing waterfall. It was just a beautiful view of the trees as you are seeing right now, but from the bottom we could see the river and the waterfall, and it was really pretty. And from here you can also see the Risco waterfall. I think that one really far away, but I am not 100% sure it is. But for now, let's just enjoy this waterfall that we have in front of us, and it was super beautiful. And here is the first place where it gets pretty wild. You can see the stairs and the water that is flowing down super fast. It is actually overflowing a little bit also on the trail, and here is the first place where you will get your shoes a little bit wet, but it's nothing too bad. It's just really interesting to see how you are climbing next to this super fast stream of water. And you can see also on the video how it was raining like on the trees. And now if you look closely, there is the path that we came from. It's really cool to see it after you walked over there, but right now we reached the point where it gets difficult because of the water. You can see that it was full of water from that part on the right. I'm not sure what it's called, but it's actually present in all the Madeira Levadas. If you've also seen my other videos or other videos from Madeira, you know it's like this on all the Levadas. And here it's overflowing in so many places, and you need to be careful not to slip and also to minimize how wet your shoes will be. But it gets worse and worse, and when we will get close to the main big waterfall, there we all had a lot of difficulties. Anyways, when other people came from the other way, it was a bit difficult, but it was manageable as you can see right now. Some of us would just climb on top of that thing on the right and wait for the people to pass. And after that, one interesting thing is that the path divided in two different ones that are one way, which was really cool at first because we did not have to worry about other people coming the other way and not having enough space, because this trail really gets super small as you can see right now on the screen. But that happiness did not last for too long because a lot of people were coming on the wrong way, and it was really weird because we did not have enough space and there were some dangerous parts that were not protected. For example, right now you can see that there is a protection on the left side, but there are a lot of places where it wasn't, so it was a bit weird. So if you're coming and you're doing this trail, make sure you respect the other people and you go on the right path. The other one is a bit more difficult. It is shorter, but it is steeper. Some people, maybe they just don't want to climb, but if you're going to do this hike, just do it right. So we have 500 more meters, and at the beginning of this trail there is a sign saying This is only one way because it is not safe otherwise, and a lot of tourists don't respect that and they complain that we are on the way, and I find that absurd. So if you come here, please respect the rules because it is not that hard. It's for every person's safety. I don't like seeing tourists that don't respect rules in another country, so be mindful, be respectful, and just follow the signs, follow the rules of the free trail with free parking, because that's the least we can do here. So we have finally arrived at the fun part, and you can see how difficult it was to pass here. It was literally a mini waterfall, and it was also two ways because both trails united around here because we are very close to the waterfall, and you can see it is literally full with water almost everywhere. And look at it here, the stream of water was so fast. You can see that the people in front of us just decided to walk next to the water because it was easier to walk over there than to walk on the normal trail. And at some point we also decided to do that, but not for long because you can see that at some point not even that saved us, so we just walked on water. When you're getting really close to reaching the waterfall, you will see all these mini small waterfalls, and in front of them there is the big one, but it's really hard to see it because there are so many people and so little space, but it was still enough. So we came all the way over there, you can see people. Wow, it looks so far away, and we have to go over there and here. That was pretty tough, but it was fun. And here's the parking. We have now arrived to Fanal, and this is basically the first parking lot, if I can call it like that. It is not official. There's another more official parking in front of us, but it looks like this place is closer because a lot of people go this way, so I guess this is the closest parking. I don't know, I will let you know. Anyways, I will show you around because I am not entirely sure where the entrance is and what exactly this place is. I saw only the pictures, so I will let you know. I will also mention in a few moments, but this ended up to be the wrong parking. So here you can start a very nice 11-kilometer trail if you're interested in it. Okay, so basically we will move the car even further down the street where I showed you, because this is a trail actually. It's a 11-kilometer trail, and even though it looks pretty easy, we are tired from today's hike, so we are not ready for yet another trail. We just want to see the beautiful trees and maybe some nice park. We want to leave the hikes for another day. Feel free to pause this video if you want to read more about the Fanal Park, and also you can read about the trail that we were on earlier, the bike path, and even a possibility to see a small volcanic crater. Anyways, right now I'm filming some trees of this beautiful forest, and I hope you're enjoying all the videos that I'm showing you. Ironically, we were pretty unlucky with the weather because it was too good. Usually you wish to have fog here because a lot of people come here and take a lot of pictures like in the movies or in some kind of fairy tale, surrounded by fog with these trees that look exactly like they are taken out of a fantasy book. But anyways, it is also beautiful in a sunny weather. As you can see right now on the screen, they are pretty impressive and very special. I fully recommend you to come here if you're in Madeira. Our next stop is Miradouro da Eira da Acada. I hope I spelled it right. It is very close to Ribeira da Janela, where we also saw another viewpoint that was really beautiful and very close to the sea. We spent quite some time in this area and it was very nice. So we are now at the closer viewpoint of Ribeira de Janela, and it's hard to find a parking spot here. They are all parked in the street, and even on the street it's very hard to find a spot, so be patient or get very early around here because we struggled a bit to find the parking and we parked in a weird spot. So anyways, we are seeing some fallen rocks around here. It seems a little bit scary. I will show you. So here is a bigger one and over there. So if you come here and you don't see these rocks, make sure you don't get in there because as you can see, a lot of big rocks. And it looks like it was a road here, so this is even scarier. And there was a parking lot, I think, over there, but maybe this road is closed. So probably because of the danger. So basically after you park your car and you walk down the street, you will get to these stairs, which will seem quite a lot at the beginning, but it's nothing too bad. And there you will basically see a beautiful cave that seems a little bit scary, especially with all those small fallen rocks. And there you will find an ocean view with this incredible stone that has such an unique shape. And if you are lucky like us to see lots of waves, it will be a very impressive landscape where you can watch the waves just crash on the huge rocks and also on that rock that is basically the main attraction here in this viewpoint. And also this is a great place for photographers because it is really unique. As I've already told you, the beach is very beautiful with black stones, and also you can see the beautiful cliff on the left side. I haven't filmed it a lot, but you could see a little bit of it. And again, the main attraction, which is the huge rock. Anyways, we stayed here for quite a while to admire the waves, and you can stay here for as long as you want, but that cave can give you a little bit of anxiety because it looked like it could fall on you at any time. I'm not sure about the safety there. We are now at Miradouro de Sandinha, which is basically a viewpoint over the city. We are having a very nice view of the ocean, the small city here, and the waves are so insanely beautiful and huge. Probably yesterday it was even crazier, but with the fog, with the rain, we couldn't see anything, so we didn't come. It is very pretty. You have a lot of parking space. You will stay for a few minutes to enjoy the landscape, but there is not any trail or something, just a viewpoint. You can see right now how beautiful this viewpoint is. We basically were able to see also this little cute town that was just below us, and the impressive effect of the waves crashing on the shore and also on the rocks. Also, as a mini spoiler alert, I will very soon show you a natural pool where, if the weather allows it and if it's good outside, you are able to go in. I am not sure exactly how it works, but you can see right now on the screen what I'm talking about. I hope I'm filming the right one, but on Google Maps it's called Porto Moniz Natural Swimming Pools, and it looks mostly in the same place that I'm filming, and it looks very beautiful. But also it could be on the left side where you can see right now I was filming. There was also some pools there, so I'm not sure the difference between them. If you know, please let me know down below in the comments because I'm really curious about it. Anyways, we stayed here for a bit and enjoyed the beautiful views. We are now at Da Noiva viewpoint, which is actually the one where we went yesterday, and it was raining a lot. I filmed a little bit yesterday, but in like less than 5 minutes I was like so covered with rain everywhere. I was like, I don't know, as if I went under a waterfall for those 2-3 minutes. It was insane how much it was raining, and I got to see a little bit of the viewpoint of the waterfall, but not so much. But today the weather is so good, and I'm happy that we get to see these viewpoints today, because yesterday the weather was really bad. So if you come to Madeira, just make sure you get enough days to see as much as you want, including like 1 or 2 or 3 days of rain. So take that into consideration. If you come here and this is the view you are seeing here, do not take it for granted, because in a few moments I will show you how it was just one day before. Basically just all based on luck, but this view was so beautiful. I really loved it so much, and I fully recommend you to come here. But anyways, take a look now. It was so different. It is barely visible, and I was so full of rain. I mean, at some point I was really scared for my phone because it was so full of water. But anyways, you can also see some shots from when we were driving, and there are also some fallen rocks, and you will soon see a small waterfall, I guess, that is super dirty because of the rain. But anyways, let's return back to our beautiful sunny day, and we are now at Agua d'Alto waterfall, and I have a bit of mixed feelings about it because it is super beautiful, but the parking lot is super small, and basically if you are not among the first 3 cars to park there, I think you have to stop your car on the road or something and walk along the road, which can be a bit dangerous, so be aware of that and be super careful when doing it. Anyways, right next to this waterfall there was a very beautiful beach, but we just stopped to see the waves, because even though they don't seem that big on the screen, they were literally huge. The beach was non-existent anymore, because I think that there was a beach somewhere over here. So we were so impressed about this view that we decided to just stop and film around and admire the waves. So if you're stopping for this waterfall and you have a good parking spot so that you can spend a bit more time around here, you can also admire these rocks and this beach. And if the waves are very powerful as they were on the day we were here, then you will have a pretty beautiful show. But anyways, look at this landscape. If we stop focusing on the ocean, that mountain looked exactly like the ones that I really loved so much from Hawaii. I guess you already know that a lot of people say that Madeira is the Hawaii of Europe. I kind of agree with that, but I don't want to say that a lot of times, because Madeira and Hawaii, they are beautiful in their own way, so I don't want to transform Madeira in like a copy of Hawaii. Our next stop is Miradouro do Guindaste. I hope I'm spelling it right. And this place is really cool because you basically get to walk on a glass platform for free. We also did that at El Jurao. I think it was called Skywalk, but there we had to pay. But this one, it is free, and it is also scary. If you are afraid of heights, I don't know if you will want to walk over here, but if you are not afraid of heights, feel free to come here. It will be very nice. You can see right now how high we were. And actually I also filmed over the safety glass just to show you how high up we were on the mountain, and it gave me anxiety even without having fear of heights. So be aware of that and take that into consideration before coming here. But I mean, it is 100% worth it. This is Guindaste viewpoint, and you can see a very beautiful of the ocean and of the mountains. So today we are doing the Caldeirão Verde hike. It's also a Levada, and today it is raining a lot, as you can see around us. I'm not sure if we're able to do the full hike. It depends on on how wet it will be on the trail, if it's okay, if it's safe. Anyways, as you can see, it is raining even more right now. It is pretty bad, but we are at the beginning of the trail. Maybe between trees it will be better, hopefully. But we had to do it today because tomorrow we will do the Pico de Arieiro, how it's called, hike, the famous one, and then we go home. So hopefully the rain will stop or maybe slow down a little bit. So as a spoiler alert, we did the entire hike and it was crazy. It was super beautiful and we managed to see so many waterfalls. But anyways, if you're enjoying this video so far, please don't forget to like it and also subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And now let's explore. So about this trail, it's a 6-kilometer one way, so 12 or 13 kilometers round trip trail. It's mostly flat and it leads to a big waterfall of around 100 and something meters. It is a pretty easy hike if it does not rain like today. If the weather is like today, then it becomes a medium hike because you have to avoid all this water and it is more difficult, but it's still flat. We are not climbing at all. It is very easy for anyone. You just have to walk. Oh my gosh, my shoes are in a very bad condition right now. Look at this. But yep, I think it's the easiest among the famous trails here in Madeira. So I'm guessing your main question that you have right now is, why did we choose this trail on such a rainy day? Basically, it was raining almost every day while we were here, so we had to choose very carefully on which days we do which hikes. If you haven't watched my other videos from Madeira, we also did one more hike when it was raining. It was not really as bad as in this video, but it was still flooded in some parts. parts and it was super fun. But anyways, for example, it would have been super dangerous to do the Pico do Arieiro, or how it's pronounced, hike on a rainy day, and we chose that for one of the, I think, 2 days when we had sunny weather. So be aware of that. You can see right now how beautiful that water that is coming on the path is, and we had to go under that. But anyways, you can use this information to prepare yourself for any type of weather in Madeira, because it has a lot of rainy and windy days. You need to check how each trail is during rain, because a lot of them are super dangerous. For example, this one was not dangerous, so in my opinion it is worth doing if you have a lot of rain during your trip. The waterfalls were also bigger because it was raining, so that is a plus. Anyways, you can see right now the camera phone was so wet and we were so funny. So after around 3 and a little bit kilometers, we have arrived to a very beautiful waterfall. As you can see behind me, it is so pretty. We had some stairs to climb and to go down, but not a lot. It is very easy, but it is very hard because of the rain and of the water. But enjoy this beautiful waterfall with me here. A very important thing that I must tell you about this waterfall is that it is not the main one from this trail. So basically this is just one that we weren't expecting and we just saw passing by, and it was so big and beautiful. You can see now that I'm filming some cinematic videos of it and we really loved it so much, but I'm not sure if it's like this also during hot days, because all waterfalls in general are way bigger when it is raining. That is obvious. For example, when we went to Plivica lakes in Croatia, all the waterfalls were so huge because it has been raining for a lot of days. But when a friend of mine went there, the waterfalls were disappointing and small. But anyways, you can see that I'm filming around more waterfalls and also the rain. And now on the screen you can see one of the tunnels where we were walking, and that was really interesting, but it was flooded at the beginning and at the end, and you had to be super careful. But it was safe and it was enough to use your phone flash camera to navigate easily. This is the third tunnel so far. They are pretty high and pretty large in height, but this one is more narrow, as you can see, so you have to be careful. All these parts that you are seeing with water that goes down on the path were really beautiful, even though they were a bit annoying. If you have a rain jacket, then you can go easily and without worries on these areas, and also admire them because they were really impressive, as you can see. But anyways, you can see that literally everywhere you are looking there are waterfalls and water falling on the trail and on the leaf, and everything was just covered with rain, and it gave such an unique impression. Right now we were walking on a, let's say, a bit more unsafe part of the trail, but we had protection on the right side of it, so if you are careful it should be fine. The Levada Nova trail we did, and I have also a video about it, that one was super dangerous. We were basically walking on such a path but with no protection. So we are almost there. As you can see, we have 100 more meters and there is a river here, a waterfall, and we have to go over here. So this last part of the video I'm filming for your information to see how it's like, because this is the last few hundred meters of the trail and we have to climb some stairs. It's not that bad and at some point they are stopping, but if you're having mobility issues you can consider how bad it is for you, but it is still pretty easy. You can take breaks as you need. Also make sure you get good shoes, because you can see that we were walking a lot on rocks, and if it is raining they are very slippery, so we were being very careful, going slow. Even though you see me filming, I was still being super careful. I wanted to film as much as possible for you, and you can see that the path seems to be stopping here. I don't really remember if that was another trail or if you're not allowed to go to the waterfall. You can read about that on the internet. We were super close to the waterfall, so we took a few steps to get a bit closer, and you can see how huge and tall and beautiful this waterfall is, and it was 100% worth it. I'm curious if it's like this all the time. So if you've ever done this trail and you went here on a sunny day, could you leave down below in the comments if it was this big always? But anyways, this is super photogenic, as you can see. If you're a photographer, you can come here and take lots of amazing pictures. So we have arrived back in the car, and as you can see, my hair is so wet. Our jackets are full of water, and it even stopped raining. It doesn't stop as much as before. I'm sorry for my glasses. Anyways, the trail is so dirty. Like my shoes are literally so dirty. I'm going to show you in a minute, but if you are lucky to have good weather, come here when it's not raining, because this will happen. So look at my shoes, and they're so dirty, but anyways, it was fun and I don't regret it. Good morning, everyone. It's 7:30 a.m. and we are going for the most famous hike in Madeira, which is Pico do Arieiro to Pico Ruivo. I'm sorry if I'm spelling them wrong. Anyways, it is still dark time outside. We are going for the sunrise. We are very sleepy. We slept horrible last night, but anyways, a lot of people either go for the first viewpoint for sunrise, or they want to reach the sunrise during the hike, or at Pico Ruivo, so you can choose which you prefer and one you can do, because for example, we could have not woken up 2 hours ago. We would have been like zombies. So if you can do it, I think it's fun. You have to do the hike during nighttime, and a lot of people do that, but it is pretty hard. Anyways, I will let you know everything we are doing on the hike today and how difficult it is. I will show you the terrain and how maintained it is, how easy it is, and so on. So just follow along. And also, if you like my videos, please don't forget to subscribe and to like this video. This is the only way you can support me, and I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you've watched my other videos from Madeira, you probably already know that we have already tried to go to Pico do Arieiro around 2 or 3 days ago, but the road was closed because of the weather. There was snow and ice around here 2 or 3 days ago, so be aware of that and don't leave this hike for the last day, because you could find yourself in that situation in which you can't do the hike because the police will stop you. But anyways, the sunrise was so beautiful. You could see it from my previous videos, and right now you can see that there are so many cars on this road, and I was really starting to wonder about the parking situation and if we'll have any difficulties, but I will talk about it in a few seconds, and it was pretty bad. Parking is full. It is not even 7 a.m. yet. Oh my gosh. That's insane. So guys, it is almost 8 a.m. and the parking is almost full, which is insane. How many people come for sunrise here? So take it as a lesson. Come as early as possible. Come more than half an hour before sunrise, because it is even more beautiful. We came a bit too late. We came 15 minutes before sunrise, and it is not that impressive right now. I mean, it is very beautiful, but it could have been insanely beautiful if we came at 7:30 maximum. Anyways, there are still, fortunately, parking spaces at the end of the parking. There are a lot of them, but we are also a lot of cars, so probably they will fill up in like 10 minutes. So if you come at around 9 a.m, you won't find any parking space, honestly, because if it's like this before 8, at 9 a.m. you have no chance of finding any parking spot. So as I've already told you, even though the parking spaces were filling up super quickly, we managed to find a spot for us. And look at this sunrise view. It was so beautiful, but afterwards, very quickly, a lot of fog came up and we could not see anything anymore, just a little bit of light. But if you look very careful, you will see that the sun is changing very fast in the video. And I also did a bit of a time lapse to show you how fast the sun was appearing, and it was stronger and stronger, obviously because of the sunrise, but it was so beautiful. So after seeing a foggy sunrise, it is still behind me, we are climbing some stairs, these ones, and we are headed to the first viewpoint. It's just continuous stairs since the beginning, so be prepared. Already at the beginning it starts to be a bit hard. Anyways, from now on I won't be talking during the trail at all, because it was super crowded and dangerous to look at the phone, but I will talk like this, telling you advice and everything you need to know about this hike. So for example, after we climbed a lot around here, we were surprised to see this road and a lot of cars parked, but I think that those cars were parked just temporarily. Anyways, feel free to pause this video if you want to read more about this trail and if you want to see what it's like and so on. But as I was saying, that parking, from what we know, is not for people that want to do the entire hike, because I think it is time limited, maybe for the people who just want to see the view here at the beginning and so on. So make sure you just read very carefully all the rules, maybe online and so on, to make sure you don't get a parking fine if you're staying for too long there. Anyways, you can see right now on the screen that in front of me is Mike, and we went on a wrong road at the beginning, but that was shorter, so we chose to do it also when coming back, which was funny, but we avoided some stairs at the beginning, so that is fine, and it was super safe. A lot of other people were going that way. And now at the beginning you can see the huge crowd of people that was in front of us, and the stairs, the fog. We were not seeing anything, so expect also this kind of weather. As I've already told you in the other vlogs, the weather in Madeira was horrible. It was literally a surprise what the weather will be like in around half an hour or 1 hour even. And I think it rained for 5 days out of 7 when we were there, but it was also March, so the weather during summer may be better if you want better chances of having a good weather. But anyways, if you are doing this trail around 7 or 8 a.m. as we did, make sure you have a lot of patience, because you can see in my video I'm filming literally everything so that you can know what to expect. But you can see huge crowds of people, and there were some people that were going super slow and they were not letting others pass them because it was pretty narrow. And basically lots of times we just stopped because we had to wait for the people in front to descend some stairs and so on. So make sure you either are very patient or you go at another time, because everyone has their own pace and it's very hard to go fast next to all these people because it is really narrow and dangerous. And now another surprise that I want to talk to you about is that now that it is super foggy, we were not seeing the huge cliff that was really next to us. And as a spoiler alert, the weather will get so much better later on this video and we were able to see everything. But when coming back to Pico Ruivo, there was no fog around here, and we were finally able to see that there was a huge cliff around here that looked super dangerous, and also on the stairs at the beginning. And there we were overpassing, I think it's called, other people a lot. And if we would have seen that cliff, I think we would have been way more careful. But I guess also the fog has its own benefits because we were not seeing how dangerous it was. Anyways, another very important things about this trail, we did it round trip, so we went to Pico Ruivo and back, and that was 15 kilometers on my smartwatch, and we did it in 7.5 hours with breaks included. And if you are accounting only for how long we walked, that was 4.5 hours. So it was 4.5 hours of walking and 3 hours of breaks, which is not really easy for everybody. It was very hard. On the internet I see that there are more than 2,000 steps to climb, so be prepared if you want to do it, and do not underestimate it because it is very hard. And now that it is probably the most famous hike in Madeira, and I understand why, because it is absolutely gorgeous, but it is very hard. It is not for everybody. And if you've been following my other vlogs, you know that I usually tell you that it is doable, it is not that bad. But with this one, I am telling you the opposite. It was challenging even for us that are experienced hikers, so be aware of that. Get hiking shoes, get lots of sunscreen, because you are not covered by anything most of this trail. I know that in my video right now you don't see any sun, but you will see it later because the weather will be better, and you may also get a sunny weather, and the sun burns so much here because you have no trees, no nothing. So make sure you get sunscreen, make sure you get lots of water, and also something to eat, because we met with some hikers that were struggling because they were super hungry and they didn't have any food on them. so make sure you get water, sunscreen and food. And anyways, another very important thing about this hike is that you can also do just one way, so you can do just 7 kilometers of this hike and then finish it, do not turn back. Anyways, now we are going through a tunnel which was really nice, and this tunnel seemed very well maintained. We had some hikes where the tunnels were so much worse, so it was really nice to go through this one. And after we went out of the tunnel, I wanted to show you that the terrain was not really that well maintained in all places. So you can see now we were climbing and it was a bit hard. We had to watch our step in order not to fall or slip. And you can also see that the terrain was really wet. So it has been raining a lot in the past days. We were super unlucky with the weather in Madeira, as I've already told you. So this is where the hiking shoes are super important, as I've already mentioned. And anyways, I was talking about doing the hike one way, and basically you can leave your car at Pico do Arieiro, and then at Pico Ruivo you can get a taxi. I think it's around 60 euros if I'm not wrong. If I'm wrong, please let me know down below in the comments, but you can read it on the internet, or you can call a taxi company and ask for how much it is. But I think the cheapest way to do this is just by booking a tour that is online, and they have shuttles. So right now online I've just checked, and really today as I'm posting this video it is 30 euros per person. They will get you on a shuttle to the starting point, and then at the end they will take you with a shuttle and get you back, I don't know where, maybe your hotel or maybe where their company is. But anyways, right now on the screen you can see another tunnel, and this one was huge. It was so tall, and we finally did not have to walk like giants inside the tunnels. But sometimes it was flooded. As you can see, there were some places with water, and the fog is not going away. We were not able to see any views, and I'm telling you that around here the views were so beautiful. They were really scary because the cliff was huge, as I've already told you, and I will show you the view and how beautiful it was. But it was kind of sad because we just enjoyed the hike but not the views at all, and this was really for more than half of the trail. So don't get your hopes too high for a good weather, because anything can happen. And also you can see that even after hiking a lot, the crowds are still here. So if we took, I don't know, a 5 or a 10-minute break, a lot of people, a huge crowd would come next to us, and it would have been just like before overpassing them. So do not worry about going in front of the other people and so on, because it's literally crowded everywhere along the trail. Anyways, the third tunnel was insanely huge. I mean, it was super tall, but it was also very large, as you can see in the video. So this surprised us. It's like this hike has premium tunnels which is very funny. And anyways, even though this video is super long, I filmed a lot until Pico Ruivo, and then I stopped filming on the way back because my battery was dying, because I was filming so much for you on the way to Pico Ruivo. But anyways, a very important thing I want to tell you is that this video is just the part 1 that I want to do about this hike, because this video would have been way too long otherwise, and I never do such long videos. It would have been around 25 minutes, so this is not my type, and I will split it in 2. But don't worry, my next video will come up in just 4 days, and in that video I will show you everything without fog. So basically in this video I want to tell you all the basics, everything you need to know about this hike. But right now, as you can see, the fog is clearing up, and this video is also coming to an end very soon. Anyways, do you know what this bird on the screen is? Because I am not sure, but it was super cute. So if you know the name, please let me know, because it was super beautiful. But anyways, as I was saying, this video was not about the views, but it was about how difficult the trail is, and very important tips like sunscreen, food, and people, crowds, weather, and so on. Anyways, I also saw that there is an entrance fee right now, so if you want to do this hike you have to pay 3 euros, otherwise you will get a fine of 50 euros. This is what I read online. So so be aware of that. And maybe also the parking is paid, but I'm not sure. I read somewhere about €4, but make sure you also read about it and get informed. I will just tell you our experience and what I've read now, informing myself better for this video. But as always, also do your own homework and make sure you know everything so that you don't get any surprises. Anyways, right now on the screen you could see a super steep staircase that was not made out of stone as the others, and that one broke everybody. We were all so tired, but also at some point everything stopped on this staircase. I think there were some people having difficulties with climbing. For right now we did not have that much fog anymore, but you could see how fast the clouds were moving, so we had to enjoy literally every minute we had without fog because it could come back very quickly. The views on this trail were so unbelievable. It was so insanely beautiful and it was so worth it. And on our way back, happily we got to see all the beautiful views. The fog did not come back. So this is the hardest part of the trail. Like you can see just how fast you are climbing or descending depending on which side you're on. It is really difficult. Anyways, right now in this video I want to show you the part 2 where the fog went away and we finally got amazing weather. Honestly, you can see that we were seeing the mountains that were so beautiful and covered with vegetation or trees and some clouds above them, but nothing too bad. It looks very magical, and at this point of the hike we were super tired. But anyways, if you haven't watched my previous video, I want to tell you that this hike was a 15-kilometer hike and we had to climb a little bit over 1,000 meters. We managed to do it in 7 hours and a half, including the breaks, and just the walking part was 4 hours and a half. And I know this because I tracked on my smartwatch. But anyways, if you want more details about the hike, make sure you check my previous video too after watching this one, because there I am telling you essential tips about the weather and what to bring with you. In general, just very important things that you need to know before coming here. Right now you can see that the sun is out and we are finally seeing what's around us, and it was so scary because sometimes we could see a huge cliff next to the trail. So if you are afraid of heights, be aware of that because it could be really scary for you. And anyways, right now you can see how fast the clouds were moving. This is not a time lapse at all, so this is just what we were seeing in front of our eyes. So we were not taking for granted the good weather because we knew that it could be foggy again in like 2 minutes, and I think this is what it's like all the time in Madeira. If you get good weather, be grateful for it and also expect it to change, because during this day it changed so much. It was foggy and then it was not, and then it was again, but at least it did not rain. And also this was in March last year, and basically we also tried to go here 3 days before and it was covered with snow apparently and with ice, and the police blocked the road because you could not do the hike in that day. So that is crazy. But anyways, back to the video. You can see the beautiful view and the clouds that are moving above the mountains, and this is, in my opinion, the most beautiful hike in Madeira, or maybe the one that we did in the first day could beat it, but they are equally beautiful. And if you have time or energy just to do 2 hikes, I would recommend you this one and also the Ponta de São Lourenço one, or how it's pronounced. If you're curious about that one, I have a vlog. It is my second vlog from Madeira and I am telling you all the details over there. But anyways, right now I think we were exactly at the peak of Pico Ruivo, and this is the view that you are seeing from there. Be aware that it gets really crowded there because a lot of people obviously take breaks after this long hike, and also a lot of people come from the other side, so they don't do the entire hike, so it can get really crowded here at the peak. And also it is very windy, as you can see on the screen, and it can get a bit cold too, so make sure you have good clothing for all types of weather, including for rain. This is very important important because as I've already told you, the weather in Madeira changes so fast. But anyways, I was so happy because the visibility was finally so good, and we were turning back to Pico do Arieiro, where we had also very good visibility. The fog was not back, and I have some videos on our way back to just show you how beautiful everything was, but I filmed a lot less because I was running out of battery, because I filmed a lot on our way to Pico Ruivo and during the fog, during the parking and so on. But anyways, look at this incredible landscape. This looks out of this world, and it is very similar to what we've seen in Hawaii. So if you enjoy what you're seeing on the screen, you need to do this hike, but be aware that it is very difficult, as I've already told you in the previous video. So this is the hardest part of the trail. Like you can see just how fast you are climbing or descending depending on which side you're on. It is really difficult. Look there, like it is very steep. You could hear in my previous video how windy it was, but anyways, look at all those stairs. Now that the fog is gone, we were able to see what was in front of us, and we could see the stairs that were to come. And that was pretty scary to watch because we knew that we had to climb all of that, but it was fine because you had parts where you had to climb a lot and then descend. As you can see right now on the screen, we had flat parts, so everything was beautiful. And now that we're able to hike with this amazing views, we are able to enjoy the trail a lot more because this is absolutely gorgeous. And it was also not that crowded anymore because a lot of people finished the trail at Pico Ruivo and then they got shuttles because they did it with a tour. But when coming back, it was a lot better with the crowds, because in the previous video I told you that it was so crowded that sometimes we had to stop because there were so many people in front of us, and some people were having difficulties on the stairs. So please be aware that some stairs are really steep. In case you have mobility issues, it can take a while, and at sunrise you have a lot of people around you. Anyways, you can see that we are going through a lot of tunnels. We went, I think, through 5 or 4 or 6 tunnels in total in this hike. I don't really remember, but some of them were really long. It reminded me of the others where we had huge tunnels when we were hiking, and that was so nice. But anyways, if you're enjoying this video so far and you find it useful, please don't forget to like it and also to subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And now I will just let you enjoy these views with some music. And now we were in the car, finally going to the accommodation after a very long day with a very rewarding hike. And anyways, you can see that we were at the airport just watching the airplanes, because here at the airport in Madeira, there is a place where you can do plane spotting. And as you probably already know, the airport landings and departures at Madeira are pretty interesting. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed my video, please don't forget to like it and also subscribe. I have a lot more vlogs coming, and also I have a video about how much I spent in Azores, in Iceland and in Madeira coming, so make sure to subscribe not to miss them, and see you in the next video.